Ladies and gentlemen, the one who taught the inaugural lecture. Technical, please let it come down. Let's come down a bit. UMC, please let it come down. Technical, please let it come down a bit so that they can hear me. The one who taught the inaugural lecture. Hello. Was delivered by Professor Sylvester Ahine on the topic shifting for good, the weapon of empiricism in the disorder of a third wave of democracy in Africa. This was perfectly delivered by Professor Sylvester Odion Ahaine. But today is the day for Professor Jacob Fatili. Can we be on our feet as we welcome the academic procession into the auditorium? Let's rise as we welcome the academic procession to the auditorium. Leading the academic procession is the acting dean of students, Dr. Fatai Abaton. Next is the faculty dean of arts, Professor Ayo Ayodele. The dean faculty of communication and media studies, Professor Jide Jibon. We have some directors. We have the dean faculty of science, Professor Moses Akobi. We have the dean faculty of social sciences, Professor Olufemi Lawal. The Dean School of Archival and Language Science, Professor Emmanuel Layadebayo. Dean School of Faith, Professor Tuji Assis. The Dean School of Transport and Logistics, Professor Aseneme Charles. Dean Postgraduate School, Professor Ibrahim Olateju. The University Librarian, Dr. Omar Makede. The University Butler, Mr. Sais Babatunde Olayinka. The University Registrar, Mr. Emmanuel A. Kwano. Deputy Vice Chancellor Administration, Professor Adenike Omotundepo. Deputy Vice Chancellor Academics, Professor Hosseini Apisi. Inaugural lecturer of the day, Professor Olufemi Jacob Kwatele. The Vice Chancellor of the Lagos State University, Professor Ibiyemi Ibilola Olatoji Bello, FNLI MPOM FSP SP. We announce you. I hereby invite the university registrar for the commencement of the official proceedings.
Vice Chancellor, Professor Ipiemi Ipirola Olatunji Bello, MNI, FNLI, FSP, NPON. The Deputy Vice Chancellor, Academics, Professor Oseni Taiwo Afisi. The Deputy Vice Chancellor, Administration, Professor Adenike Omotunde Boyo. The University Bossa, Mr. Said Olayinka, FCA. The University Librarian, Dr. Maumi Origo Mison Makinde. Members of the Governing Council of Lagos State University here present. The Dean, directors, professors, and members of the University Senate here present. Emeritus professors of this institution here present. Distinguished professors of this institution here present. Directors of University Administrative and Service Area here present. Past principal officers of this institution here present. I can cite my oga there, Mr. Akinwumi Oladapo Louis. Other members of staff of the university here present. Our world-class students, our special guests of the day, gentlemen of the press, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. I am Emmanuel Abiodun Fanu, the Registrar and Secretary to Senate of this institution. Dear distinguished audience, it is my pleasure to welcome you to the 104th inaugural lecture of this institution, the great citadel of learning, Lagos State University. And this lecture today is titled Nigeria and the Killer Squad: Corruption, Insecurity, and Restructuring Buhari. Why these wicked problems persist. And this is to be delivered by no other person than one of our own accomplished professors, Professor Olufemi Jacob Fatile. Professor Olufemi Jacob is a professor of collaboratory governance, comparative and development studies in the Department of Public Administration, Faculty of Management Sciences. Professor Olufemi Jacob, a round of applause for him, please. Vice Chancellor, it is therefore my pleasure and honor to invite you, Professor Ipiemi Ipirola Olatunji Bello, to introduce and present the inaugural lecturer of today's lecture to this distinguished audience. Please, Vice Chancellor, please.
May I invite Professor Olufemi Jacob Fatile, PhD, ACA, ACTI. I have the honor of introducing to you the 104th inaugural lecturer of this university. Olufemi Jacob Fatile was born on the 21st June 1968 to the family of Chief Josiah Ojo Fatile and late Chief Mrs. Julie Moniye Fatile in Esa Odo, Ilesha Obokun local government area of Osun State. He had his early education at the United African Stroke Anglican Primary School and proceeded to Esaudo Community Grammar School, Oluorogbo High School, and Oyo State College of Arts and Science, Ile-Ife, where he obtained the West African School Certificate Ordinary Level and Advanced Levels in 1984 and 1985, respectively. He later gained admission to Obafemi Awolowo University, Ile-Ife, where he graduated with Bachelor of Science degree in Political Science with specialization in I think I missed that. In political science in 1989. Professor Fatile proceeded to the University of Lagos and successfully completed his Master of Science degree program in political science with specialization in public administration in 1993. Professor Fatile took his educational pursuit to the University of Benin, Benin City, where he earned his Doctor of Philosophy degree in public administration in year 2008. In the year 2001, he joined the services of Lagos State University as an assistant lecturer. As a resourceful and diligent faculty member, he taught various courses in public administration, including research methodology, quantitative research techniques, statistics, and public financial management at both undergraduate and postgraduate levels. Professor Fatile's academic career rose steadily from the position of assistant lecturer in year 2001 to a full professor in year 2019 with an effective date of October 2017. He had served in various capacities, which include departmental examination officer, faculty examination officer, chairman, faculty NUC accreditation committee, chairman, faculty examination misconduct committee, member, panel L subcommittee of the staff's disciplinary committee, to mention a few. He was a former head of Department of Public Administration at Lagos State University and the Deputy Director, Open and Distance Learning and Research Institute, ODLRI, and currently serving as the chairman, University Ceremonies Committee. He is the director of the Institute for Public Policy, Law, and Economic Development at the International Institute for Policy Review and Development Strategies. He is a visiting and honorary full professor at the School of Management, IT, and Governance at the University of KwaZulu Natal, South Africa. Professor Fatile pursued a professional training in accounting, and he eventually became an associate member of the Institute of Chartered Accountants of Nigeria, ACA, and an associate member of the Chartered Institute of Taxation of Nigeria, ACTI. He is also an active member of many other reputable academic and professional associations, such as Association for Middle Eastern Public Policy and Administration, AMEPA, International Institute for Policy Review and Development Strategies, IIPRDS, Institute for Public Diplomacy and Management, South African Association of Public Administration, SAPAM, to mention a few. Professor Fatile has attended international conferences and training programs in many countries, including United Kingdom, United States of America, China, Canada, France, Netherlands, Malaysia, Indonesia, United Arab Emirates, South Africa, and Ghana, amongst others. Professor Fatile was a co-recipient of Ford Foundation research grants in year 2003 and 2004. Lagos State Research and Development Agency research grants in the year 2016, and the Third Fund National Research Fund intervention in year 2019. His research involvement includes co-leading significant research grants projects. He is also an international reviewer to National Research Foundation and Research and Innovation Support and Advancement, ISAP, South Africa, African Public Service Delivery and Performance Review, University of Fort Hare, South Africa, SN Social Sciences, and Elsevier Publishers. Professor Fatile is also a reviewer and member of the editorial board of many other reputable local and international journals. Professor Fatile is a recipient of several other awards, including First Runner-Up, Best Staff Award for Teaching Excellence, Lagos State University, 2016. According to Google Scholar and AG Scientific Index, Fatile ranks as one of Africa's top 20 public administration scholars. Number 5 in Nigerian public administration, and number 41 in the Nigerian Faculty of Management Sciences Academia arena. He also ranks first in LASU public administration and second in LASU Faculty of Management Sciences. Professor Fatile has been appointed as either an external examiner or external assessor to several universities in Nigeria and other countries. Professor Fatile is an accomplished researcher, prolific writer par excellence. He has successfully supervised 4 PhDs, 5 Doctor of Public Administration, DPA, and over 150 master's students. He has published extensively in reputable local and international journals. He is the author or co-author of over 140 publications in the field of public governance, comparative and development studies. Ladies and gentlemen, our distinguished guests, kindly permit me to present an accomplished researcher, prolific writer, and dynamic academia, Professor Olufemi Jacob Fatile, to deliver the 104th inaugural lecture of Lagos State University. Thank you.
The Vice Chancellor, Deputy Vice Chancellor Academics, Deputy Vice Chancellor Administration, Registrar, Bursar, and University Librarian, Provost College of Medicine, Deans of faculty, schools, and directors of institutes and centers, heads of department and units, professors at Lagos State University, members of staff of Lagos State University, students at Lagos State University, distinguished guests, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. The title of my inaugural lecture is Nigeria and the Killer's Cause: Corruption, Insecurity, and Resourcing Buhaha. Why this wicked problem persists. The Vice Chancellor, the priest in Ecclesiastes 3:17 says there is a time for everything. Today has been set aside for me to speak to an audience like this. I find it a great pleasure and honor to address this distinguished gathering on this occasion in the series of inaugural lectures in this great citadel of learning. I would like to thank the Vice Chancellor, Professor Ibiyemi Bilola Olatunji Bello, for the opportunity given me to deliver this inaugural lecture. With a high sense of humility and total dependence on God's manifold grace, I present the 104th inaugural lectures of Lagos State University. This is the 3rd from the Department of Public Administration and the 7th from the Faculty of Management Sciences. Prior to my pronouncement as a professor, I have published over 80 publications in local and international outlets on public governance. Today, I have about 140 publications to my credit. I hereby present the little I have done and what I intend to do with my major area of focus. It is my hope that my contribution will guide policymakers and implementers on how to mitigate the wicked problem confronting Nigeria as a state. One of the major areas of my research interest is collaborative governance. The rise of collaborative governance can be attributed to many wicked problems that are difficult or impossible to solve. The motivation to overcome wicked problems like resource control, inter- and intrastate boundary conflicts, legislative-executive conflicts, insurgency, farmers-herders conflict, ethnicity, communal conflict, climate change, succession crisis, electoral conflict, among others experienced by stakeholders in Nigeria, is the driving force to collaborate. And most of my research papers focus on this. Introduction. In a journal article, Fooling Ourselves, Corruption, Insecurity, and Agitation for Restructuring in Nigeria, the wicked problem remains, which I co-author with a colleague. I discussed the way we have been fooling ourselves in Nigeria and how the wicked problem of corruption, insecurity, and agitation for restructuring in Nigeria have remained. The obvious point that I was making is what this inaugural lecture will address. The issue of wicked problems in Nigeria's political system has featured prominently in some other papers and articles that I've written during the past 24 years of my academic sojourn. Some 64 years ago, when Nigeria attained political independence, there were high hopes of our potential for sustainable growth and development. The economic potentials of the nation received a big blow with the discovery of crude oil in commercial quantities as from the 1970s. These resources and potentials have failed to translate to physical socio-economic development, mainly because all the petroleum revenue and the foreign exchange earnings were grossly mismanaged to the extent that Nigeria almost became not only a bleeding state, but a failed state with the advent of the democratic dispensation in 1999. It is not out of place to blame some greedy elites for our political and economic misfortunes. However, this lecture is intended to sufficiently map out some of the fundamental problems that threaten our collective existence as a people and how we might get rid of these challenges to make way for a better life for everyone. I refer to these challenges as wicked problems in this lecture. An overview of the Nigerian state. Nigeria is a country with the potential for greatness, a large population comprising a dynamic workforce, a growing economy with abundant natural resources, which make her one of the largest exporters of crude oil in the world. Despite its indices for greatness, Nigeria is yet to find her feet among the Committee of Nations since independence. Nigeria continues to face terrorist attacks in the northeast, a restive insurgency in the Niger Delta region, intercommunal violence across the Middle Belt, and kidnapping and farmers' herders conflict in the southwest and north central geopolitical zones. Conceptual discourse and the nature of wicked problem in Nigeria. The topic of this lecture is based on some key concepts like corruption, insecurity, restructuring, and wicked problems, the explication of which we provide an indispensable background for this lecture. Corruption. There is no single comprehensive and universally accepted definition of corruption among scholars. Corruption is any behavior that deviates from public interest, moral standard, or serving the common good. It can simply be described as abuse of office for private gain. Insecurity entails a lack of protection from crime, a lack of freedom from psychological harm resulting from the paucity of assurance that an individual is accepted, has opportunity and choices to fulfill his or her potential, including freedom from fear. Restructuring means different things to different people. While some see restructuring as the creation of more states, some see it as the devolution of power. To others, it is the creation of state police or complete ownership of resources, resource control by the federating state. The practice of federalism in Nigeria, according to scholars, can be described as centralized federalism, where a greater percentage of the power in a state is concentrated at the center. In the views of Ali 2013 and Adamu 2005, federalism that undermines the independence and autonomy of its federating units will only bring about conflict, a threat to national cohesion and peace and ultimate disintegration, the contextual basis of wicked problem. Despite several efforts to discover the foundations of wicked problem in the field of public administration, or more recently in public governance, wicked problem remain a surprisingly unsolved phenomenon. It is not all acts to solve problems that are wicked, only those with indeterminate scope and scale. Most social problems like poverty, corruption, climate change, inequality, insecurity, political instability, death, disease, and so on are wicked. The Nigerian state, a federalism without federal values. Let's see where, in the fourth edition of his book on federal government published in 1963, opines that each level of government should have adequate resources to perform its function without appealing to the other levels of government for financial help. The application of federalism to the country's situation has been found wanting in many respects. Following the coup d'etat of 1966 and the military incursion into governance, The federal structure was tampered with and readjusted to suit their command and rule system, or what Adeyeri 2010 described as unitary federalism. This point marked the waning and collapse of the hitherto true federal system. It also marked the genesis of Nigerian myriad of crises, including agitation for secession in the east, militancy and kidnapping in the south, terrorism and kidnapping in the north, thuggery, unemployment, politically motivated killings, etc., all pointing to the need for the restructuring of the current federal system. The Nigerian state contested federalism and conflict trajectory. Federalism is pragmatic, dynamic, utilitarian, and developing. It can only strive for bargaining, consultation, negotiation, compromise, and agreement between the constituent governments. Vice Chancellor, in Nigeria, we are practicing what can be aptly described as impure federalism, in the sense that the federating units are semi-autonomous. In an ideal sense, the federating units are supposed to be in charge of their own affairs. However, in Nigeria, we have a federal arrangement, but we are running a unitary system. The Constitution is supposed to be written by the people. The preamble of the 1999 Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria emphatically stated that we, the people of Nigeria, have resolved to keep to ourselves the following constitution. Contrary to this, the Nigerian Constitution is more of an inadequate document. It is a 419 constitution. In most developed federations of the world, where true federalism is practiced, each component unit of the federation is allowed to control its own resources. Looking at the provisions of 1999 Constitution in Nigeria, there is no doubt that the country has departed from the path of federalism. In a federation, one would have expected that Lagos State or Lagos ports will belong to Lagos. Oil and gas will belong to the Niger Delta or those who own it. Just as the Middle Belt, where violent conflict and kidnapping are rampant, we have the right to defend themselves. Conflict is a phenomenon in all relationships and groups, and thus needs to be accepted as part of our everyday life. In 2014, I published an article in the Journal of Policy and Development with my research team titled Emergency Rule, a panacea for peace and conflict resolution in Nigeria, where it was clearly pointed out that the present conflict scenario has a detrimental influence on Nigeria's national security. Vice Chancellor, some of my researches are focused on conflict in the Nigerian federalism with specific reference to intergovernmental relation. Looking at the concept of intergovernmental relation, scholars like Anderson, Watts, and Adam Lekun have agreed that intergovernmental relation denotes the permutation and combination of relations among the component units of government in a state. Since 1999, Nigeria has witnessed several intergovernmental conflicts over jurisdictional power, and the federal structure has come under heavy attack in this conflict. The relation between the executive and the legislature has been conflictual rather than harmonious. The protracted face-off between the executive and the judiciary and the legislature took a life of neutrality under the former President Olusegun Obasanjo's administration, with the removal of 7 presidents in 3 years, including Efa Newere, Suba Okadigbo, and Adolfo Wabara. 2 speakers of House of Representatives, Salisu Buhari and Patricia Ete, were impeached in 2000 and 2007, respectively. Similarly, at the state level, we have some state governors who are victims of legislative-executive conflict. My PhD thesis and many other researches are centered on the subject matter of intergovernmental relations. My PhD thesis titled Intergovernmental Relations in a Federal State, an analysis of inter- and intrastate boundary conflict in southwest Nigeria, walked through the problematic sociocultural aspect of federalism in Nigeria, the poverty of leadership and proliferation of corruption practices in Nigeria. The issue of getting the right leadership to propel national growth and development has been on the front burner of several debates in the last decade. As a matter of fact, there is no basis to describe Nigeria as a nation. Most nations of the world are noted for their areas of specialization. Nigeria is well known for our corrupt practices. Corruption is so pervasive that it is found in all public institutions, particularly in the judiciary, which is supposed to be the last hope of the common man. Justice has become a cash and carry commodity given to the highest bidder. The lady justice is no longer blind, but open-eyed, lusting after the kindred fraternity who increase our palm. Corruption is not only in government, but in every facet of the society. Nigeria can be better described as an impure nation. Similarly, in Nigeria, there are hegemonic social forces, which are elements that are more powerful than the state. Thus, it is apt to describe the Nigerian state as it is presently constituted as an impure state. The history of Nigeria is tainted with the absence of good moral and ethical values in the conduct of the ruling elites. The above description of the situation on ground at the inception of democratic governance in 1999. Nigeria is best described as having a mixed economy that leans towards capitalism. In a capitalist state, land, labor, and capital are privately owned. Unfortunately, in Nigeria, the land is not privately owned. Rather, governors of each state own the land under the Land Use Act, and they are empowered to issue certificates of occupancy. Governors of the state are feudal lords who have money and land under their control. Normally, feudalism is supposed to give way to capitalism, but in Nigeria, our system is partly feudalistic and partly capitalistic. Capitalism is driven by production, but in Nigeria, it is driven by sharing. This is an indication that our capitalism is impure. The Land Use Act should be expunged from the Constitution. The governor of the state has no business with the issue of land. Land must be returned back to the people. Corruption, insecurity, and agitation for restructuring the Nigerian context. Corruption, insecurity, and agitation for restructuring are triplets and are parts of the hydra-headed monster that has held the Nigerian state captive since independence. Corruption in Nigeria. Over the years, Nigeria has failed dismally in its fight against corruption. It is evident that the country has dropped consistently in the ranking by Transparency International in the past 3 decades. This is clear in Table 2.0. It is instructive to note that in the recently released ranking by Transparency International, Nigeria moved about 5 places in the ranking from 145th position in 2023 under Buhari administration to 140 position under President Ahmed Tinubu's administration in 2024. With extreme uncertainty, complexity, and involvement by political office holders, corruption has all the hallmark of a wicked problem in Nigeria. Corruption, being an endemic parasite, is either directly or indirectly linked to the death of people as a result of poverty, hunger, frustration, interethnic struggle, and so on. The stampede during the 2024 Christmas food distribution, organized by some charity organization in Nigeria, where 35 children in Ibadan, Oyo State, 22 people in Ikija, Anambra State, and 10 people in the Federal Capital Territory lost their lives, is a clear evidence of the extent of poverty ravaging the country. Despite the establishment of anti-graft agencies like Code of Conduct Bureau, EFCC, ICPC, and of course, the Nigerian Financial Intelligence Unit, corruption has continued to weaken institutions, discourages investment, and retard economic development. Insecurity. Nigeria in recent times has witnessed an unprecedented level of insecurity. In the last few decades, there has been a proliferation of arms in the Arab world, which spread to Africa, including Nigeria, due to globalization. These arms are imported into most of the developing countries like Nigeria, which are seen as a ready market. The Vice Chancellor, as Nigerians, are we truly or thoroughly fighting insecurity, or are we fooling ourselves? I guess the answer is obvious to all. Some scholars argue that Nigeria belongs to the 20 most violent countries in the world. The unemployment rate in the country has indeed risen in the last years. In the last few years, the National Bureau of Statistics 2025 noted that 32.6% of Nigerian youth are unemployed. The available statistics reveal that the National Youth Service Corps mobilizes an average of 350 and 400 graduates yearly, and on the average, about 600,000 graduates are produced in Nigerian higher institutions of learning on an annual basis. When the Lagos State Teaching Service Commission advertised for teaching job recently, more than 50,000 candidates applied for the available 1,000 vacant positions. Similarly, when Dangote Group advertised for truck drivers 6 PhD holders, 704 master degree holders, and over 8,000 graduates applied for the available 100 vacant positions. All these are mind-boggling statistics about the unemployment situation across the country, and it is obvious that there is a relationship between the rate of unemployment and insecurity in the country. Vice Chancellor, there is no doubt that Boko Haram is one of the Africa's deadliest organizations. In 2018, Global Terrorism Index report put Nigeria in the top position in terrorism. However, in 2024, the report put Nigeria in the 8th position. Another clear evidence that the security situation seems to have improved slightly under the current administration. Borrowing the word of John Masker in his book, How Sabab and Boko Haram, Guerrilla Insurgency or Strategic Terrorism, he likened violence to marijuana. According to him, medicinal marijuana is not different from regular marijuana. No matter how hard you try to distinguish them, marijuana is marijuana. Violence is violence. Whether it is committed with bombs, weapons, knives, guns, an airplane, or a vehicle. There's no doubt that so much violence nowadays is labeled as terrorism when it is actually something else entirely. Boko Haram can be described as movement against anything that is Western education. The Boko Haram insurgency is thriving in Nigeria, especially in the northern part of the country, for insensitivity and lack of reactiveness of their state government to the issue of security of lives and properties. Beyond Boko Haram, Nigeria faces an array of security challenges like criminal gangs, ex-man farmers-related violence, militant Biafra separatists, piracy, and security sector violence against civilians, as presented in Figure 1.1. Figure 1.2 indicates the number of states that were mostly affected by Boko Haram sets between 2011 and 2023 in Nigeria. But those states top the list, and this is closely followed by Zamfara, Kaduna, Benue, Adamawa, Plateau, and Yobe State in that order. Kidnapping by terrorists and armed bandits in Nigeria. Kidnapping for ransom has been one of the major strategies adopted by Boko Haram terrorists and bandits in different parts of the country, and in other parts in particular. Kidnapping has turned to business in Nigeria. These terrorists have amassed so much wealth that they can comfortably possess weapons of mass destruction, including those that the armed forces of the Federal Republic of Nigeria cannot afford. Figure 1.4 presents the number of people kidnapped across the states of the Federation from 2013 to 2023. In 2023, there was a significant reduction in the number of people kidnapped by Boko Haram to 1,384. This is an indication that government efforts seem to be yielding desired results in recent time in Nigeria. Mass kidnapping has become a major issue of concern in 6 states, including Zamfara, Kaduna, Katsina, Borno, Niger, and Sokoto, among others. See Figure 1.5 for some statistics. Figure 1.5 reveals that there were 19 cases of mass abduction in 2019, where 153 people were abducted. The figure was on the increase rate in 2023, when 277 cases of mass abduction was recorded and 4,427 people were victims. However, the number decreased significantly to 68 cases in 2024, when 1,867 people were abducted. Figure 1.8 elaborates further on the number of abduction and the victim of mass abduction in Nigeria by state. The graph indicates that Kaduna topped the list. This is closely followed by Zamfara, Niger, Katsina, Benue, FCT, and Sokoto states. Figure 1.78 presents the breakdown of the number of kidnapped victims by state. A breakdown of the 2021 figure by state indicates that Niger State recorded the highest number of people abducted with 643 victims. Nigeria recorded a decrease in kidnapping cases since the inception of the current administration in 2023. School kidnappings in Nigeria. Kidnapping of school children no doubt has devastating consequences for the country, which already has the highest number of out-of-school children anywhere in the world. Some of the notable mass kidnapping in Nigeria include the kidnapping of over 200 Chibok girls in Maiduguri, Borno State in 2014. Other kidnapping cases have been recorded in other parts of the country. See figure 1.9. Similarly, as indicated in figure 1.9, the International Center for Investigating Reporting Intelligence 2024 report revealed that not less than 1,971 students were kidnapped across the states of the Federation. The breakdown is presented in table 3.0. The recent spate of school kidnappings in the northwest Nigeria highlight the failure of government to develop policies that will improve safety at school. Ransom payment and kidnappings in Nigeria. It is important to emphasize that in Nigeria, ransom are commonly paid for kidnapping, often arranged by families. In most cases, government officials in Nigeria often deny ransom payment. According to Adeoye 2024, the National Bureau of Statistics recent crime experience and security perception report presented in figure 1.11 revealed that Nigeria pay an estimated 2.23 trillion naira in ransom to kidnappers during the period under review. The breakdown of the ransom payment across the 6 geopolitical zones between 2015 and 2024 is presented in table 4.0. Among households that suffered kidnapping, 65% paid a ransom. The average ransom payment was put at about 3 million naira, and an estimated total ransom of 2.3 trillion naira were paid throughout the reference period, that is 2015 and 2024, according to the National Bureau of Statistics report of 2024. See figure 1.12. Road infrastructure and insecurity in Nigeria. Road infrastructure decay in Nigeria has been attributed to the rising highway robbery and kidnapping on the federal and interstate road. Figure 2.0 presents the absolute number of deaths resulting from road accident fatality from 2006 to 2020. It is only in Nigeria that you see officials of government at bad road spots checking car roadworthiness. Meanwhile, most of the Nigerian roads and highways are unworthy for motor vehicles. The absolute numbers of deaths resulting from road accidents by month in 2020 is presented in figure 2.1. The Nigerian public is either scared of the impact of bad roads on their cars, death through accidents, or being kidnapped along the expressway. The earlier this is addressed and normalcy is restored through declaration of state of emergency for bad roads in Nigeria, the better for the country, and the investors' interest in the country will be rekindled. Figure 2.2 presents the crash and fatality trends between 2020 to 2024. The year 2021 and 2022 recorded the highest. The graph indicated that since 2023, there has been a decrease in the number of crashes and fatalities in Nigeria. The dilapidated condition of Nigerian roads no doubt have made travelers to be vulnerable to armed robbery, kidnapping, abduction attacks, and in some cases, deaths along Nigeria's highway. This explains why some scholars have advocated for the decentralization of Nigerian police force structure to create state police that can effectively manage insecurity on the Nigerian highways. NSAS protests in Nigeria. The NSAS protests in Nigeria gained global attention in October 2020. Figure 3.0 indicate that NSAS protests across the country recorded the highest rate of fatalities in Lagos, FCT, Edo, Rivers State, Taraba, Plateau, and Anambra State. Table 5.0 presents some of the incidents that happened during the NSAS protests in Nigeria, arising from the foregoing. There is no doubt that mass kidnapping and killing of school children and road travelers in Nigerian highways, as well as the NSAS killing, are clear evidence of the security failure in the country. These incidents underscore the wider failure of the Nigerian state to provide security for our citizens. Insecurity and defense budget spending in Nigeria. Yusuf Ahmad 2023 opines that despite government counter-terrorism expenditure and effort, There is no doubt that the prevalence of insecurity in Nigeria appears to be on the increase, and it is also evolving into an existential crisis affecting the foundation of Nigeria as a state. Figure 4.1. From that figure, 120 federal ministries, departments, and agencies had an allocation of 24.39 billion naira as security votes in the 2021 budget. The budget earmarked 93%, which is 22.7 billion naira of the security force to defense, police, interior, and intelligence agencies. Up to the 2025 budget, top priority has always been given to the security in the nation. The analysis above revealed that the Nigerian military budget is greater than the rest of other West African countries combined. The analysis presented in figure 4.3a indicates that the trends of insecurity in the country increased significantly between 2020 and 2022. Figure 4.3b, however, put the total figure of people kidnapped in 2023 at 3,841. It is instructive to note that despite the budgetary allocation over the years in the country, investment in security equipment and training of security personnel has not yielded the desired results. Vice Chancellor, ma'am. Vice Chancellor, ma'am. In the quest to find lasting solution to the menace of security in the country, Fatile and Ganiyu 2024 in their edited chapter, Global Terrorism Network and Boko Haram Insurgency in Nigeria, published in Palmgrave Macmillan in Managing Contemporary Security Challenges in Nigeria, submitted a financial network is the heartbeat of terrorism, and any effort aimed at putting an end to the activities of Boko Haram must be able to cut off their sources of finance. Farmers-herders conflict. The incident of farmers-herders conflict are not new in Nigeria, as they are most present in all around the sub-Saharan African region and even globally. It is on record that herdsmen farmers conflict accounted for 35% of conflict in Nigeria. In the past 3 decades, and the development as consequences of socio-economic development in Nigeria. As at August 2021, Nigeria had lost 8,343 persons to farmers-herders conflict since 2005, according to the findings of the Armed Conflict Location and Event Data Project 2021. In order to address the menace of farmers-herder conflict in Nigeria, I presented a paper titled Fulani Farmers Conflict Implication of Socio-Economic Development in Nigeria in 2016 at a conference held at University of Nigeria, Nsukka. The paper, which won the Best Paper Award at the conference, addressed the perennial problem of farmers-herders conflict and recommended, among others, that the federal government should embrace ranching, which is a modern method of cattle rearing that is recognized worldwide, and that full support should be given to the anti-open grazing laws as enacted by some states in Nigeria. Secession agitation in Nigeria. Vice Chancellor, ma'am. The agitation for secession in Nigeria is fueled by the politics of imbalance and inequalities in the sharing and allocation of nations' commonwealth. In 2010, I published an article on the Nigerian state and the already problem of agitation for state creation. The people know that the most interesting problem of multi-ethnic community like Nigeria is the problem of minority, and those minorities that are clamoring for an effective say in the intergovernmental relation and more equitable share of the nation's natural resources. Among the Yorubas, for instance, there are echoes of separatism that come in different forms. There is demand for Oduduwa Republic led by Sunday Igboho. We have the demand for Oduduwa Nation. Biafra Republic in the southeast. There are intermittent demand for the Arewa Republic in the north. And of course, there is the demand for Niger Delta Republic in the south part of the country. One of my award-winning papers, Amnesty as a Panacea for Resolution of Resource Conflict in Nigeria, Niger Delta, presented at an international conference held in Dubai, United Arab Emirates in 2016, recommended policy measures towards successful implementation of the amnesty program in addressing the perennial conflict in the Niger Delta region. Vice Chancellor, ma'am. Nigeria has many security challenges. Unfortunately, the worst of these challenges is that the government often overlooks the challenges that undermine social security until a serious problem presents itself. with the public administration in Nigeria. Public administration is the central focus of the governmental administration. The transformation of any nation depends on the performance of the public administration. Like other African countries, public administration in Nigeria has not been active regarding service delivery, but only served the interests of the minority. On the question of the academic status of public administration, there is no doubt that the discipline has borrowed in varying degree from other disciplines, most especially political science, history, philosophy, economics, and law, to mention the most obvious. The explanation for this significant borrowing lies in the fact that to grapple meaningfully with the issue that this lecture has been dealing with, one we have to rely on insights derived from these other disciplines. This no doubt has led me to assert that for a worldwide study of some wicked problems, which are hydra-headed problems in Nigeria's political administrative system, the interdisciplinary approach to public administration becomes inevitable. I should end this lecture by commenting briefly on the ongoing debate on the desirability or otherwise of establishing the Department of Public Administration in Nigerian University. I'm convinced that given the Nigerian realities of today and foreseeable future, the existence of the Department of Public Administration is fully justified. Predictably, I have no doubt whatsoever about the desirability and viability of our own Department of Public Administration here in Lagos State University. Since its creation on the 5th August 1999, the department has made tremendous contributions to the study and practice of public administration in Lagos State and Nigeria in general. The department has graduated about 15 PhD candidates, many of which are rising stars on the staff of the department. We currently have about 25 students enrolled for the PhD and FE PhD program. We also have graduated about 20 Doctor of Public Administration candidates under our newly introduced Doctor of Public Administration, DPA program. Perhaps the most eloquent testimony to the progress of the department is that the demonstration effect of the success has led to the decision to establish a local government administration and development studies unit, which was approved in the 2015-2016 academic session while I was serving as acting head of the Department of Public Administration. Under our able and pragmatic Vice Chancellor, the unit metamorphosed into a full-fledged Department of Local Government Administration and Development Studies in the 2023-2024 academic session. Equally, Diploma in Local Government Studies, which is a national collaboration program with the Public Service Staff Development Center, PSSDC, was approved simultaneously with BSc Local Government Administration and Development Studies in the 2015-2016 academic session. These are no mean achievements. I wish to seize this opportunity to acknowledge the hard work and dedication of my colleagues in the department, particularly our academic giants, our highly esteemed and erudite professors in the department, late Professor Iyabo Olojede and Professor Sylvester Olubanji Fajoyomi. My accomplishments: specific contribution to knowledge. Vice Chancellor, kindly permit me to present just a few out of my several research efforts in public administration with specific reference to the title of this lecture. It is on this premise that I present part of my modest contribution to the academia along the following lines. Corruption. First, in our quest to unravel the wicked problem that Nigeria is facing, a study was conducted by Fatile and Adejuwa in an article titled Democracy and Development Under the Shadow of Corruption in Africa, the Nigerian Fourth Republic in Perspective, which opined that since 1999, Nigeria's democratic project has been endangered by significant levels of corruption, which tend to jeopardize the country's moral integrity and impede growth. Also, one of my studies in 2012 that have been cited locally and internationally, titled Corruption and Challenges of Good Governance in the Nigerian Public Sector, revealed that the public service is critical to ensuring effective government. On restructuring, another dimension to unearth the wicked problem was discussed in my paper titled Niger Delta and the Struggle for Resource Control, What Implication for National Integration? The paper has been recognized and cited far and wide by scholars globally. The study revealed that true federalism, which gives state autonomy while lowering central government authority, is critical for Nigeria's existence and integration of its varied population. On insecurity, my research team in 2018 evaluated and reported farmer-sellers conflict and food security in the North Central geopolitical zone of Nigeria. The study contributed to the body of knowledge by advocating for policies that will stop herdsmen from terrorizing the farmers by monitoring and checking their activity to ensure availability of food, the stability of food supply, displacement of people, and accessibility of food in different parts of Nigeria. Fatile and Bello, 2015, in their study titled Managing Internally Displaced Persons in Nigeria, the case of insurgency in the Northeast geopolitical zone, argue that the displacement of persons across the globe, and most especially in the third world countries, is due to communal violence, natural disaster, internal armed conflict, land border conflict, floods and droughts, ethno-religious conflict, and terrorist attack. General contribution to knowledge. Vice Chancellor, again, permit me to present a few of my general contributions to academic knowledge that has attracted scholars and researchers globally. One, my contribution to the study of technologically oriented public administration globally has gained traction far and wide, with over 123 citations since 2012. The study evaluated electronic governance needs or opportunity for Nigerian public administration and was able to contribute to the body of knowledge by showcasing the role of technology in curtailing corruption in government administration. Madam Vice Chancellor, as a scholar and researcher in conflict management, my article published in conflict and conflict management in tertiary institutions, the case of Nigerian universities, which has gained popularity in the management of conflict in tertiary institutions globally, has over 90 citations. This article reveals that conflict is an inevitable part of human interaction and must be managed effectively for peace and progress in society. My Google Scholar profile and AD scientific interest demonstrates my significant contribution to the body of global academic knowledge. The review ranked me as one of the Africa top 20 public administration scholars, precisely placed 16th in Africa. The rating also places my research digital footprint at number 5 in Nigerian public administration and number 41 in the Nigerian Faculty of Management Sciences academic arena. The AD Scientific Index ranked me first in LASU Public Administration, while also being rated second in the LASU Faculty of Management Sciences. In Lagos State University, the Vice Chancellor, I'm delighted to intimate you with my contribution to Lagos State University, aside from my research endeavors. These contributions are mostly in the areas of university administration and academic mentorship. From 2001 to date, I've served the university in various capacities. By default privilege, and as part of my own contributions to academic endeavor, I've completed the supervision of 4 PhD and 5 Doctor of Public Administration DPA candidates. I've also assessed several applicants for professorial cadres within and outside Nigeria, many of whom are now professors in their respective university. I've equally supervised over 150 master's dissertations. Concluding remarks, any hope for Nigeria? The Vice Chancellor. The central message of this lecture is that the phenomenon of wicked problems that have persisted in the Nigerian political system loom very large in every modern federal state like Nigeria. Given this reality, the study of the phenomenon should henceforth receive greater emphasis in the literature on public administration and public governance in particular. So far, we have seen what is wicked about wicked problem. We as scholars also appreciate the spirit of wicked problem in the field of public administration. The question that is hanging on the balance is how we can tame wicked problem in a bleeding state like Nigeria. Wicked problem cannot be fully resolved, but they can be addressed, managed, and mitigated. In the light of the above, policymakers may wish to engage other stakeholders using the following recommendations to address the security situation in the country. True federalism remains the best solution to Nigeria's problem. There should be a total overhauling of the Nigerian political system through constitutional amendment process to expunge provisions that negate federalism and provide for implementation of true federalism. The 2014 National Confab recommendation on the issue of true federalism, restructuring, resource control, and insecurity should be revisited. The task of fighting corruption in a globalized economy requires building credible institutions, law, human resources, media, and technology. Of this, the human element is the most potent in the fight against corruption. It is the individual that are corrupted. It is the individual that can be corrupted. If you see something, say something, not only say something, do something, should be part of our national slogan. There is need for Nigeria to be restructured to guarantee a fair distribution of resources that may benefit all. A decentralized policing is considered as a key solution to Nigerian insecurity challenges. These policy systems will include community, local, and state policing as they serve as the first line of defense. The Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria should be amended to incorporate the decentralized policing into our security architecture in Nigeria. There is need for the control of small arms and light weapons through strengthening of related agencies to check inflow and local manufacture of illicit weapons and ammunition. There should be stringent position against proliferation of arms in Nigeria. National organizations like Nigeria's National Counterterrorism Center, NCTC, and the Office of National Security Advisor, ONSA, should find a way to cut off terrorist financing, especially from the NGOs and other international organizations. In the layers of insecurity at the youth, governments should therefore create an avenue to engage them for employment and empowerment assurance. Skill acquisition programs should be encouraged at all levels of our educational system so as to create employment opportunity for our teeny youth. Thus, to combat terrorism and other forms of insecurity in Nigeria, policymakers should focus on improving the economy by creating employment opportunities so as to reduce the rate of poverty across the various geopolitical zones of the country. Finally, for all these recommendations to be achievable, there must be political and administrative will on the part of major stakeholders in government to combat corruption and ensure accountability in the fight against terrorism and other security challenges. My acknowledgement. I give glory to the Almighty God, the giver of life and the creator, who appointed this day from the beginning and has watched this event from commencement to the end. I want to especially thank the university management, and I want to extend my deepest gratitude to our amiable, pragmatic, and dynamic Vice Chancellor. She is a beacon of inspiration in the academic world. And of course, the person is Professor Ibiyemi Ibilola Olatunji Bolo, MNI, MPON. Thank you very much, ma'am. We appreciate you for making LASU to be a leading university, not only in Nigeria, but also in Africa, particularly in the area of cutting-edge research and academic standard. Thank you, ma'am. You are so much appreciated, ma'am. I also want to appreciate our very humble and charismatic leader, Professor Oseni Afisi, the Deputy Vice Chancellor Academic. Thank you very much, sir. God bless you, sir. Then, our very eloquent, loving, and caring woman, who is the Deputy Vice Chancellor Academic, Professor Adenike Omotunde Boyo. God bless you, ma'am. Then, the Generalissimo of Administration and Record in LASU, the Registrar of the University, we call him the correct man. We appreciate you so much for all that you do. And that is Mr. Emmanuel A. Fano. God bless you, sir. Then our indefatigable bossa, the man who oversees the financial management and administration of LASU. And that person is Mr. Said Olanyinka Babatunde, FCA. God bless you, sir. Then there's a woman who is in charge of our veritable laboratory for the systematic storage of information for retrieval and later use. And that person is the university librarian in person of Dr. Mrs. Omowumi Makinde, the university librarian. Thank you very much, ma'am. God bless you, ma'am. I want to also appreciate the immediate past Vice Chancellor of Lagos State University, Professor Ola Rewaju Adigun Fagbon. My parents, my loving parents, my dad, Chief Josiah Ojo Odewusi Fatile, who is unavoidably absent, my late mom, late Chief Mrs. Julie Fatile, may I so continue to rest in peace. My other parent, late Chief Otitoju Benjamin Olajide, he died just last year and was buried last month. May his soul continue to rest in peace. Then Mrs. Eileen Aduke Olajide is my loving and caring mom. God will continue to strengthen you more and more in Jesus' mighty name. Then my secondary school principal, late Pastor Senior O Saseun of blessed memory. You are much appreciated. May your soul continue to rest in peace. Then we have the big masquerade of the Department of Public Administration. Let me start with the late Professor Iyabo Olojede. She died last year. She was on the panel that interviewed me for appointment in the year 2000, alongside other professors like late Professor O.J. Fakonda, the first dean of Faculty of Management Sciences, and of course, late Professor Sunday Otokiti of blessed memories. I want to say that since I got to LASU, she took me as her adopted son, and I was very close to her. I want to say that sometimes in 2012, I got an appointment in a federal university in Nigeria, and she got a wind of it. She called me to her office and she said, you are beginning an appointment somewhere. I said, yes, ma'am. She said, I've already made contact with the registrar and the professors in that department, and I've told them that you will not come. And she went on to say, I should promise her that I will not leave LASU. But contrary to the fact that my family was against it, I had to agree. And it's one of the reasons why I'm in LASU today. Let me request that Professor Olubanji Fajoyomi should please stand up for recognition. Professor Olubanji Fajoyomi, please stand up for recognition. Professor Fajoyomi has been a father, a mentor, a prayer partner, and of course, a friend. In 2016, when I got another appointment in another university in Nigeria, he got to know about it. And at a point, he asked me, he said, Fatiko, as he's fond of calling me, she said, Fatiko, I am aware that your letter of appointment is waiting for you. And do you want to leave LASU? And he said, wait in LASU. And you can see, apart from that, sometimes in 2021, I had an opportunity to also leave LASU in 2021. And she made a call to me. He said, Fatiko, we have been waiting for you, or you don't want to come back. And I said, sir, I will come back. So I had to come back because I know he was actually waiting for me to return back to the department. And of course, as God will have it, the university, when they realized that I was not going to come, they gave me an appointment as an honorary full professor in the School of Management, IT, and Governance of that particular university. God bless you, sir. You are so much appreciated. I want to give special gratitude to former acting Vice Chancellor, Professor Yidawola Oke, Emeritus Professor Peter Akisola Okebukola, Professor Odusaya, Vice Chancellor Lashitech, distinguished Professor Martin Anateka, distinguished Professor Bishop Dakwasaju, former DVC Academic Professor Olufunso Omobitan, Professor Seda Bakre, Professor Rafiu Okunleye, and of course, the former registrar, Mr. Akin Lewis, among others. Thank you very much. God bless you all. My teachers in primary and secondary school, there's one of them, and JB Ayani is still alive. That man who was worried that I was too young to start primary school. The man was always complaining that we are too young to start primary school. The man is still alive. I bless God for his life. I want to also thank the ESCO and set coordinators of my secondary school alumni association, my teachers at OAU, particularly Professor Olajire Bamisaye, Professor Yogubadejo, Professor Leo Dare, Professor Kule Awotokun, Professor Francis Ofagbom, Professor Antonio Oladoyin, Professor Ayo Ariyo, Adesopo, and so on. God bless you all. My teachers at the university, late Professor Remi Anifowose, Professor Solomon Akiboye of blessed memory. Oh, Remi Anifowose of blessed memory, Professor Solomon Akiboye is here, right? Professor Deri Ologwenla, Professor Brown Noah, and late Dr. Ayo Akibobola. My teachers at the University of Benin are Professor Yepe Ogbeide, Professor Daniel Towe, Orosaye, Austin Kelebe, and many others. I also have my PhD supervisors, my master and PhD supervisors at Lagos State, at the University of Lagos and University of Benin. My colleagues at the University of KwaZulu-Natal, South Africa, where I was given a recognition as an honorary professor in the School of Management, IT, and Governance. You are much appreciated. My academic mentors. Let me quickly talk about one particular individual. He's an American. His name is Professor Chris Koliba. He's a distinguished professor of public administration, policy, and governance at the Department of Community Development and Applied Economics at the University of Vermont, Burlington, USA. He has been very, very close to me, and he has always been getting in touch with me, and we discuss a lot. I want to appreciate you so much, sir. Then I have other people like Professor Awotokun, who are my mentor, Professor Abiodun Oni of Backward University, Professor Daniel Lerafroti, Professor Sinyo Yeweso, Professor Femi Adeyeye, Professor Layoso, Professor Daniel Berege of Covenant University, Professor Adeola of Covenant University, Professor Dorasani of Durban's University of Technology, South Africa, Makamu Idris, Northwest University, Jacobus, Western South Africa, Dr. Mrs. Fagbemi, Professor Cyber Motereko in South Africa. God bless you all. My colleagues in the department, can you please stand up for recognition? My colleagues in the Department of Public Administration and my colleague in the Department of Public Administration and Local Government Administration and Development Studies. I want to thank all of you for what you have been doing, particularly Professor I.B. Akape, Professor Uchitwe, and the rest of them. Then my research team, also led by Professor Olubanji Sylvester Fajoyomi, you are most appreciated. My colleagues in the faculty, I want to acknowledge and recognize all of you for all that you have been doing. I want to thank my dean, my able dean, Professor Bankole. I also want to thank my very good friend, the Dean PG School, Professor Lateju, and Professor B.R. Yusuf, my friend, Professor J.S. Kende, Professor R. Akewusola, who happened to be the Provost, College of Technology, Lagos State. God bless you. And every other professor in that faculty and all other colleagues, you are much appreciated. Then, of course, I have my colleagues from Babcock University. If you are there, just wave your hand if you are from Babcock University. God bless you all. I want to thank you, led by Professor Oni, Professor Ngozi Nwagugu. God bless you. I have Professor Oyadira Efili from University of Abuja, and so many other of my friends from University of Abuja. I have OAU led by Professor La Iya. Then, of course, Unilag, Professor Awosika, Dr. or Dr. Awosika, Dr. Majako Dumi, University of Ilorin, Dr. Akindele, and the rest of them, UNN. I want to thank all my academic friends outside LASU, particularly from Krishna University, Uniben, Taswell, Federal University, Lokoja, and my NUC friend, who was my former student, Ari Ogugwa. Then, of course, all other friends from outside university, and my former students and supervisee. May I request that Dr. Pastor Kehinde Adeju will stand up if he's in the auditorium. Yes, sir. He was my student, my mentee, and he worked very closely with me before moving to the Polytechnic, and is currently a director in one of the federal parastatals in Abuja. Then I have another gentleman from the Department of Biochemistry. I want Professor Kasim Mutiu Idowu. Is he in the auditorium? If it's, kindly stand up. That particular professor, that young man, was my student in secondary school. I taught him mathematics in SS2 and SS3. And of course, his set of students recorded 95.5% in mathematics. God bless you, my dear brother. I have other people there, Dr. Bello, Dr. Jalodibu, Dr. Etim, and so on and so forth, too numerous to mention. All my postgraduate and undergraduate students, no thinking is required. It is either you go to Okeyejide or Nasfa. God bless you all. All members of the ceremony committee, particularly the secretary of the university ceremony committee, very hardworking, dedicated, and committed administrator. Thank you. God bless you. University support team, multimedia, health center, war physical planning, and all other CIPPL, university press, catering units, security units, and so on and so forth. God bless you. You work with the ceremony committee, and I appreciate all your effort. Non-academic staff in my department, particularly Mrs. Kukonu, Mrs. Olaniyi, Mrs. Wahab, my FO, Dr. Oduyomi, and many others. God bless you. And traditional ruler from my community, that is His Royal Highness Oba Julius Adeniran Ejemojo of Esaudo, Ilecha, represented by Chief Saba 1. God bless you. My very able friend, Isaac Adeyolano Sayo Idowu, Protai Dada, Boagboye Gafaloye, Clement Elatroti, Dr. Samson Adejobi, Dr. Komolafe, Prince Adeyemi, of course, Segun Omole Doctor. Then we have Ayonikane, Pastor Sunday, Afolabi, and many others. All my siblings here present, you are much appreciated. Because of time, I cannot begin to mention your name. Then my extended family member, particularly Mr. Olusegun Ajanaku, aka Otako, then Pastor Ayotunde Ajanaku, he is my uncle, and he has been taking care of me from childhood. God bless you. He's here present. God bless you. All members of my extended family are much appreciated. My spiritual father, Bishop Dawodu, Bishop Osonuga, Bishop Afolabi, Bishop Ogunbiyi, Venerable Ogutuyi, and Venerable Peter Omojola. All of you are much appreciated. And may I request that Deaconess Bose Fatile, FCA, stand up. She is my professional colleague, my friend, my counselor, my gistmate, and prayer partner. Very loving and caring. God bless you. Thank you very much. This is my story. This is my song. Praising my Savior all the day long. This is my soul. This is my song. Praising my Savior all the day long.
Okay. Can we all be seated? That highly stimulating lecture, provocative also because of the recommendations, has just been delivered by our 104th inaugural lecture. Professor Olufemi Jacob Fatile. The title of that lecture that has just been delivered is Nigeria and the Killer Squad: Corruption, Insecurity, and Restructuring. Why these wicked problems persist. Professor Olufemi Fatile, you have now, as a reason of this lecture, a bona fide member of the Board of Professors in this university. You are hereby discharged and acquitted. Congratulations.
Ladies and gentlemen, please let's remain wherever we are as we allow the academic procession to leave the hall in reverse order. The Dean, Faculty of Education, Professor Latifat Yaya, while we also have Dean, Faculty of Management Sciences, Professor Kojibankole, on the academic procession. Please let's remain standing. Do not forget, academic procession and professors are to leave through the central door, while other members and our guests should leave through the left or the right door. That has been the success story of Professor Jacob Olufemi Fatile. Congratulations to Lagos State University. Congratulations to Faculty of Management Sciences. Who is next? Which faculty is taking the betting? Faculty of Arts. Let's be on the lookout. Congratulations to world-class students of Lagos State University. Congratulations to the royal fathers that are here. Members of the family, we celebrate you. All the world-class students of Lagos State University, thank you so much for being here with us. All the distinguished members of staff, professors, deputy registrars, directors of centers, head of departments, thank you so very much for making this story a very robust one. Please allow the professors to leave through the central door. Every other person should leave through the left or the right door. Your entertainment is waiting on these doors. Your entertainment is waiting on these doors as described. Kindly leave through the left or the right door so that you can be well entertained. That has been the success story of the Faculty of Management Sciences, Professor Jacob Olufemi Fatile, a very respected professor in public administration, 104th inaugural lecturer. Congratulations to us. Please leave through this left or your right door to be well entertained. Leave through the left or the right door to be entertained. Leave the central door for professors and all the members on the academic procession. The leader of that faculty, Professor Sylvester Banji Fajoyomi, congratulations to you. This is a great day the Lord has made. This is my story. This is my song. That has been the song of Professor Jacob Fatile. Wow. Who is next? Which faculty is picking the betting? Faculty of Arts or Faculty of Management Sciences again, or Social Sciences? Keep your fingers crossed as we await the next inaugural lecturer. From here, my name is Olani Jariogwe. I represent Center for Information and Public Relations. Bye for now.